Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about how to get ahead financially. Not next week, next month, or next year, today. So let's jump right in. I recently read an article on Fortune.com that says 57% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency expense. And I found that statistic deeply troubling and very concerning. Now, whether you attribute that to rising interest rates, inflation, or just an overdependency on credit cards, this has to change. This is why I created this channel, to empower people through financial literacy and coaching. As alarming as this statistic is, I can't really say I'm surprised, since financial literacy and education isn't really emphasized or taught in the school systems. The purpose of this video is to give you 8 steps that you can follow that will help you better manage your finances. Now, these steps may seem overwhelming at first, but trust me, the most important step is the first step. So let's get started. Step 1, create a budget. The most important thing you can do with regards to money is to create a budget. The way we do that is by averaging your expenses over the past 3 months. Take those 3 months of detailed expenses and divide by 3. So for example, you have $9,000. Divide that by 3, so your monthly expenses would be $3,000. The purpose of this is to get an accurate assessment of what your expenses are and where your money is going. If you do this one thing, you will be ahead of most. Because according to a recent OppLoans survey, 73% of Americans don't have a budget that they regularly follow. With a well-defined budget, you will be able to see what your expenses should be and see where you're making impulse purchases or just flat out wasting money. If you do this, you will find a way to reduce your spending without missing anything. In fact, you could probably save 5 to 10% of your income just by tracking your expenses. So now that you have a budget, let's stick to it. Step 2. Pay off consumer debt as fast as possible. This includes any student loans, car loans, credit cards. Pay this off as soon as possible. This is a wealth killer. The 2 most popular methods of paying off consumer debt are the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. With the debt avalanche method, you make the minimum payment on each of your outstanding debts and then take all available funds and put it towards the debt with the highest interest rate. Mathematically, this should leave you with the most leftover money as possible. This means you should start paying off the highest interest rate debt you have first. And then once that one's paid for, you go to the next highest interest rate debt until all debts are paid off. The second method is the Dave Ramsey approach, called the debt snowball method. Now, this is the method that my wife and I used when we became debt-free, where we paid off the smallest debt first. Once that one was paid off, we went to the next largest and the next largest, saving the biggest debt for last. Now, whether you decide to use the debt avalanche method or the debt snowball method, I think it's really personal preference. The most important thing is to get those debts paid off so that you can begin accumulating real wealth by investing and getting a fully funded emergency fund. Step 3, establish an emergency fund. Wealthy people have an emergency fund. For those of you that follow Dave Ramsey, you know that he recommends 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now, I'm not opposed to having a year's worth of living expenses in an emergency fund, but not to the detriment of paying off debt or investing. It means that you already know from tracking your expenses how much you need to live on a month-to-month basis. Or take that number and multiply it between 3 and 12, depending on your level of emergency fund. Save that money up in cash. You do not spend this money ever unless it's an emergency. Step 4, investing. Take advantage of your employer-sponsored retirement plan. Your employer offers a 401k at a 5% match. Always take that. That is free, that is guaranteed money, 100% return on your investment. There's no other investment I can think of where you're guaranteed 100% return on your money. Since this is pre-tax money, it will also lower the amount of taxes that you will have to pay. Eventually, you should strive to invest 15% of your taxable income. And if you're self-employed, you can make your own retirement contributions with certain other investment programs. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would recommend speaking with one or CPA to see which programs may benefit you in your tax situation. Step 5, invest in a Roth IRA. This is an account that allows you to invest your after-tax dollars. So once you turn 59 and a half, all the profit that you've generated in this account is tax-free. So this means that you get decades and decades of compounding growth that you don't have to pay taxes on. So when it comes to investing and growing your wealth, the Roth IRA is definitely something that you want to have. Step 6, paying off your mortgage. Imagine the freedom that you'll have when you don't have that mortgage payment hanging over your head anymore. I remember that feeling when my wife and I paid off our home, the sense of financial freedom that we had, and the joy that we had together as a family. Eliminating that mortgage payment should be the last big financial hurdle that you'll have in your quest to becoming debt-free. In fact, making one extra mortgage payment a year can knock years off your total mortgage. Step 7, invest in taxable accounts, real estate, your child's college fund, yourself. This means you have a brokerage account where you can trade stocks in. Maybe you want to buy rental property. If you have children, maybe invest in your child's 529 college fund. Maybe you want to start a business. At this point, it's all about finding what you want to do and how you can best increase your net worth. Step 8, give generously. Do you have a local church that you attend? Do you have a favorite charity that's near and dear to your heart? Maybe it's a waiter or waitress at your favorite restaurant, or a single mom that's struggling. Whatever that looks like in your life right now, you now have the ability to make an impact in your community and in those around you. Now guys, I know we've covered a lot of information in this video, and depending on where you're at financially, this might seem like a dream or only hope to be able to get to a point where you're able to invest. You have so much debt that it's hard to breathe even, but you can do this. These steps may take months or even years to complete. This is not something that can be done overnight, and there's no magic button that you can push to make it all go away. Like I said earlier, remember the most important step is the first one. Start today, create a budget. List out all of your expenses so that way you know exactly where your money is going. Once you've created that budget, then you can focus on paying off debt. Now remember the debt avalanche method or the debt snowball method. Either is fine, either will get you to your end goal. Then start on your emergency fund. Build that 3 to 6 months or even 12 months of expenses. Once you have a fully funded emergency fund, begin to invest. We talked about 401k at your employer. We talked about a Roth IRA. Both are fantastic tools to be able to build your wealth. It's my hope that everyone watching this video is able to get their financials in order, to be able to take control of their money, to be able to live the kind of life that you've only dreamed of. Hope you found this video useful and that you got something out of it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Until the next time.